Today we're taking a trip to Red River Gorge. Our first stop on this trip is going to be the Natural Bridge geological area. The trail to Natural Bridge from the parking lot is only 1 mile, but that can be deceiving. This is the lake behind the dam at Hoedown Island. The main lodge at the resort park overlooks this lake. From the parking lot, this bridge is a part of the trail and it crosses the Red River. Once you have passed what is known as Hoedown Island, you will see this sign. This sign says that Natural Bridge is only 3/4 of a mile, but most of the trail is up. There are steps, as you see here, but generally it is a wet sandstone mud path. So if you're going to make this trip, make sure you bring plenty of water and be prepared for a moderate to strenuous hike. Red River Gorge is located within the Daniel Boone National Forest in Kentucky, which comprises 2.1 million acres. There are 29,000 acres in Red River Gorge, and Natural Bridge State Park consists of 2,250. The size of some of these trees is simply amazing. This small stream flows along the side of the path for a portion of the trip and makes several small waterfalls on both sides of the path as you make your way to the top. Here we get our first look at Natural Bridge. It spans 78 feet and stands 65 feet high. We lovingly refer to this portion of the path as the Crack of Doom. As you can see, there are large crowds that can only come in or out in one direction. Traversing this portion of the path to Natural Bridge is probably what most people complain about the most. As you can see, it's a very, very small space. It's maybe 2 feet, maybe a little more than 2 feet. Not really sure. I've had to walk through there kind of sideways, and it can be daunting if you're claustrophobic. It's the only way in on the regular path unless you take the lift, which lets you off on the other side of the span. So if you're going to make the hike, be aware of the Crack of Doom. And this is what you make the journey for. You get to stand on the top of the span and see the wonder that is the Red River Gorge geological area. We're looking at Battleship Rock here. Me and my kids made this trip in late April. The weather was quite nice. It was the mid-60s. The sun was out. Spring was in bloom. All the flowers are blooming. It's really not a better time of the year to make a trip to Kentucky. Summer in Kentucky gets very hot. I made this trip when it was 95 degrees and it was not enjoyable. We were sweating by the time we reached the top here in 65-degree weather, so I advise spring. This is the view over the side. You're looking down 65 feet. I do not advise doing this. You can fall. People have fallen and died. Here's the view from Battleship Rock looking back at Natural Bridge. There's a path. I'm panning towards the rim. The path's not that long. I saw a lady walking with a broken foot. People bring their dogs. This area is crowded, so be prepared to deal with a lot of crowds. Natural Bridge and Battleship Rock, and there's also a standing stone in this area that's quite popular. These are the most popular areas in Red River Gorge, so be prepared for crowds. After our hike up the Natural Bridge, we decided to go over to another part of Red River Gorge and visit Chimney Top Rock and the Princess Arch. Both of these hikes are considerably less strenuous than the hike to Natural Bridge. This area is also generally less crowded than Natural Bridge. There is a plaque commemorating a climber who fell off of the cliffs here and perished. So people do die here. People come here to climb these rocks from all over the United States. People don't take precautions and they leave the path and they fall off, and it's a very far fall. It is dangerous, or can be dangerous, so be careful. This is the path to Chimney Top Rock. As you can see, it's very flat and there's very few hills. Chimney Top Rock offers one of the best views in Red River Gorge. Looking in any direction from Chimney Top Rock, you get magnificent views. It also enables you to get a good idea of how vast Red River Gorge actually is. And as you can see, there are stunning sandstone cliffs everywhere. This one in front of us had a huge cave in it where at some point in time there had been a rock slide. And from Chimney Top Rock, you can also see the Red River down at the bottom of the gorge. Our next stop was Princess Arch. The trail here is about a half a mile. It's a very easy trail. It's quite flat until you get to the arch. The only thing I can warn you about is when you get to the arch, one trail goes over the arch and another trail that diverges from the path before the arch, it kind of hides, is the one that you need to take to go under it. This is my favorite part of Red River Gorge. Princess Arch is maybe 12 feet high and maybe 40 or 50 feet across. It's quite easy to access. There were no people there, and we were able to climb around on it and basically just have the place to ourselves. Here's my son reaching up and touching the top of Princess Arch. And here's my daughter doing her best impression of a cave woman. Not to be outdone, my son decided that he could do a better impression of a caveman, and he climbed up into this cave, which had a very muddy floor. I actually climbed up in this cave as well. Like I said, we had the place to ourselves. We also did some hiking along the rim on several of the trails. These trails follow the edge of the gorge, and once again, you need to be careful if you're going to get off the main trails and get onto the side trails. It's quite easy to get lost in Red River Gorge. There are numerous trails that actually go down into the gorge. Additionally, a lot of the trails that are considered rough trails follow along a lot of this slippery sandstone, so you can slide right off if you're not careful. I advise getting out onto the rough trails. That's the best way to actually see Red River Gorge. It's a hiker's paradise if you're into hiking. I hope that you enjoyed our trip to Red River Gorge. Please like our video, please share our video, and please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, happy traveling.